breakfast your day every day with the nourishment of malt, milk and cocoa and the delicious taste of Milo.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Enugu's #1 choice for music and talk.
92.5 Dream FM. That's how we do it.
It's time to recharge your 9 mobile line and stand a chance to win 1 million naira today or smartphone this hour.
The new constitution is most acceptable to me because what we have presently is a forced constitutional order, and it has thrown up a plutocratic political class who do not care about the welfare of the people.
It's not a question of a brand new constitution, it is a constitutional change of the people.
There are two sides to every story.
No, there are more than two sides.
Is it the new PDP or the old PDP? No.
If you look at what happened,
No, you can't.
your PDP went to come and they challenged on
A community without a common ground will eventually become a battleground.
This is Pastor Chibo, phoning from local government, Enugu State.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Political voices are in my CNN here. I love it, and I love it very much. My name is Philip from Enugu State. Political voices always keeping me busy, always making me happy as I'm on strike as a student.
Political voices. One story, many angles.
Listen, I am telling you that
I don't agree. I don't. No. You can't say that.
Politics. Where is good governance?
Everyone is a political animal.
I don't like politics.
But I love political voices.
On Political Voices, we talk politics. In a country of diverse interests, who gets what, when, and how is politics. And this is our business on Political Voices. Nigeria, a country of over 160 million people. Political Voices is gauging the temperature, setting the agenda. Political Voices exclusively on Dream FM. 9 o'clock in the morning, Monday to Friday.
Good morning and welcome to Political Voices on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM. Political Voices is a session of comments, interviews and analyses of trending political stories as they affect and shape the world around you. Today is Wednesday. It is the 2nd day of September 2020. This morning on Political Voices, we are focusing our attention on reopening of the Enugu International Airport, that's the Akano Ibam International Airport, and other infrastructure in the southeast. We will touch on some other issues that are rearing their heads in the political space, especially the issue of the tariff, the electricity tariff. We'll be touching on that too. We'll look at the issues around these subjects. But before we meet our guests, there are some issues we'll have to touch on now, as the former deputy president of the Senate, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, representing Enugu West Senatorial District, has reaffirmed that his commitment and that of the two of the House of Representatives in his constituency, which includes the deputy minority leader of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tobi Okechukwu, and Honorable Dennis Amadi, to the service of their people, will remain unwavering. Senator Ekweremadu made this affirmation while speaking to his constituents during the ongoing inspection of projects he attracted to his constituency. He used the opportunity to assure the people that all projects attracted to his constituency will be completed in record time. The senator called on his constituents to be patient with government as efforts will be made to ensure that life-enhancing projects will get to all the communities within his constituency. Ekweremadu called on the constituents to be patient and to maintain the facilities that are within their domain. Moving on, as good as we talk about other issues here, there are reports that the convoy of Adams Oshomole on his way to the campaign, in one of the campaign rallies, they encountered a road mishap, and which prompted the suspension of the campaign by Pastor Izeyamu in one of the locations. Of course, we'll be following that. We heard that 2 policemen died in that car crash. Condolences to the families. And I think that's it for the matters arising. We will move straight to our discussion this morning. Of course, we have quite a lot to talk about, and we hope we can talk it into the time we have. Remember, we are live on 3 platforms. On Facebook, it's 925 Dream FM. On YouTube, it's Dream TV. And remember to subscribe and turn on notification. And on Twitter, it's at Dream 925 FM. You can send us a WhatsApp message on 0902 0020 925. Stay with us. This is Political Voices on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM this morning. Our focus is on the reopening of the Akano Ibam International Airport and other infrastructure in the southeast. And we are joined this morning on the program by the Senior Special Assistant to President Muhammadu Buhari on Public Affairs, Mr. Ajuri Ngilale. Good morning to you, Mr. Ngilale, and thank you for joining us. He's the Executive Director, Lead Network. He will come into the conversation a little later. But I'll start with you, Mr. Ngilale. Talk to us about these airports, because there seem to be a number of complaints from people. They seem to be of the opinion that the airport, as good as the intentions of the government are, the opinion in some quarters is querying the rush to reopen an airport that is not ready for use by the flying public. What's your response to this?
Thank you very much. First of all, I find it ironic that you have a situation where you have a runway, for example, an international runway that has been neglected for decades, potholes everywhere, very deep potholes that put at risk large aircraft coming in from different countries and different parts of the country. And when the president closes the airport for reconstruction, the idea was that, remember, the sentiment in some places was that that the president is attempting to undermine the economy of the southeast. That's what groups like Ohanese were coming out to tell our people. Leon Naira expanded to 3 kilometers to accommodate any kind of international aircraft that anybody wants to fly into the southeast. In addition to that, a brand new international standard airfield lighting system, all put in place. And now the airport is being reopened, and some people are saying that why is the president reopening the airport too soon when the core work that is required for reconstruction has been done? The issue that's left is the terminal building, the new international terminal building, which of course this administration has taken to a very advanced stage. All the work continues to go on, but we want to ensure that our people who want to travel to and from the southeast have that opportunity, and that there's not an undue delay being caused when you have a domestic terminal that's still functional, and now you have a brand new runway that international airlines and domestic airlines can benefit from. So what is the essence of keeping people, forcing people traveling on these roads to the southeast when this opportunity is here now? So that's why we've opened the airport now. And then when the international terminal is ready, of course, that will also be commissioned here in short order. But I think it's also important to mention that the president is not just reconstructing what was already there and then constructing a new terminal. He also just approved within the last few months the construction of a brand new international cargo terminal, which was not part of the original design for Akano Ibia. But because the president is determined to ensure that all of our major airports have cargo terminals for agro-allied processing and transportation and economic facilitation. He has put that in place in Akano Ibia. So you're not just going to have the new international terminal, we're also commencing construction on a brand new cargo terminal as well very soon. So this is coming at a very, very strategic time, and this is in addition to several other projects that are ongoing.
All right then, talk to us about that. Is another issue that led to some people who work at the airport doing some kind of protest. That's the issue of concessioning of the airport. Was this always in the plan, or was this something that just came up? They're talking about concessioning the Akano Ibam International Airport. Explain to us how this is supposed to work.
I think it's really important that in this country, when we're assessing issues, and I mean everybody, I mean we're talking to people who are on TV, radio, and everywhere, that it's not assessed from the perspective of just one vantage point. So, for example, the idea, that just Akano Ibiam International Airport is being concession, that is a bit misleading, because really the concession issue is for all federal airports. That is including Abuja, Lagos, Kano, Port Harcourt, and all of that. So the conversation has been on. What we have had, obviously, is a situation where consistently we build airports run down, and then the government now has to find money to try and reconstruct the airports or rehabilitate the airports or renovate the airports. If you go anywhere in the world, whether it's Singapore, the US, UK, you just name the place, South Africa, and all of that, you're going to find that you have very experienced professionals that run these airport facilities. They're not just run by federal aviation authorities in these countries. You have real concessionaires that know the business of aviation, of the aviation industry, and how to leverage on the aviation industry to maximize commercial transactions across their countries. So this is not new. What we're just doing is to ensure that we don't get locked into a situation where we're doing a crony concessionaire where we've had in the past. You recall the imbroglio that occurred at Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, because a previous administration had concession to a firm that had no capital to do the job they said they were going to do, and of course no experience to do what they wanted to do. The same company was given Lagos Ibadan Expressway. Of course, nothing happened on that road for decades until this administration came in, took it back from that concession, and now began the massive construction that we've been doing for the last 3 years, and that's almost completed as well. So look, the point is, all the airports in the country require people who are going to manage the process, so that even beyond this administration, when President Muhammadu Buhari's term expires in 2023, whoever takes office, you will not have a situation where it's going to be, it's going to be determined based on the integrity of the government in power, but rather it's going to be in the hands of people who have the requisite capacity to be able to give Nigerians the experience they deserve in our airports.
All right, then let's talk a bit about the roads. There is a portion of the Enugu-Onitsha Express Road, because the road is one of the key infrastructure here in the southeast and elsewhere in Nigeria. The 9th mile to New Market section of Enugu-Onitsha Expressway has turned to one of the worst places to pass through in Nigeria. It's 11 kilometers only, but with so much casualty figure. That's if you know the popular Oyama mine. It claims lives because the road is so bad. And the question is the federal government not worried about this section of the road? And why do we have this delay in fixing the road, especially because of the high casualty figure in that particular section of the road?
Yes, thank you very much. So I know you understand that all roads are done in sections, as you rightly pointed out. And I think it would be only appropriate to acknowledge that before 2015, almost the entire expanse of the Onitsha-Enugu Expressway was in a total state of disrepair. You're not even talking of just one section. You're talking of the entire road, in effect, was in terrible shape. And nobody was attending to it. Nobody had attended to it even from 1999. I don't know if there was any serious construction work on that road since 1999 or even before that. And I think the last person to do construction on that road in reality was President Muhammadu Buhari, when he chaired the Petroleum Trust Fund and was rebuilding the Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway and many others. My point is this. It is true that the Onitsha-Enugu Expressway has not been completed. There's no doubt about that. But we have just released about 6.5 billion just last month to RCC. RCC, Reynolds Construction Company. We released 6.5 billion to them last month just for the Amansia to Enugu State border section of Onitsha-Enugu Expressway. And most people have also appreciated that there are significant sections of that road that have been totally reconstructed over the last 3 years as a result of our interventions. We've already spent well over 20 billion on that expressway over the last 4 years, and our people have seen the reconstruction. In addition to that, on that same road you're talking about, Enugu Onitsha Road, on the OP Junction, Ukere, Opatu, Abo Odi section to Anambra border, we just released 4 billion on that section to errant contractors last month. So between two of them, you have 10.5 billion that was released last month on 2 different sections of that road. So my point is that work is ongoing. We have given the money to the contractors, and they're working. And so that's on the one end. On the other end, you have the Enugu Port Harcourt Expressway, where just last month, the Lokanta to Umuahia section, we released 5 billion to Setraco. The road is already at 64% completed. Obviously, our people in that zone, irrespective of political affiliation, can see clearly what that road was like before 2015, where you had essentially piles of mud and rubbish, and there was no road, where you had trailers, oil tankers flipped on their head and all of that on that road. Now you can actually drive quite smoothly. It's 64% and all of that. Then you have on that same road, Umuahia to Aba section, we released 5.5 billion last month to Arab contractors again for the second section of that road. And then of course on the third section, this is Enugu to Lokanta, you have about 5 billion that was released to CGC last month to continue work on that road. So any dispassionate person who is serious about development, who is looking at it from an unbiased lens, would appreciate that we have invested more in southeastern infrastructure and infrastructure nationwide than any administration has over the last 30 years prior to 2015. The other point I need to make very quickly is on of course, the second Niger Bridge. We're at the point now of decking. We're out of the 206 billion naira bridge. We've already released over 90 billion to Julius Berger, and the work is going on. You can see that with the bridge has now been laid on top of the 18-story pillars that have been set in the water all the way across. So now on one side of the bridge, there are obviously two ways, 2 sides, and all of that. On one side, you have about 50% completion across. I'm talking of the actual bridge across the pillars on the one side, and then coming back, we'll do the other side. So that is set in on course for completion for February 2022. And then I think it's also very important to note that the very critical local Oweto bridge that links Benue and Nasarawa states is at 97%. We are going to commission that bridge by December. The reason why it's important, yes, you may say, what do I have to do with the Benue and Nasarawa? The reason why that bridge is very important is because the 9th mile to Makodi Road links up with the local Oweto bridge. So instead of having to travel through, there are so many convoluted paths from Benin to through Kogi, through Okene and all of that to get to Abuja. Now you're going to be able to, anybody traveling from the southeast going to Abuja or going to the north will be able to reach Abuja now in 4 to 5 hours less time, because they'll be able to cross the local Oweto bridge, which had not been available. So that is very, very strategic for the people of the southeast and of course the commercial enterprises of the southeast, in addition to the second Niger Bridge and the airport that is also being expanded. So I just think anybody who is unbiased, anybody who is looking at development the way it is on the ground, considering where we were in 2015, are things perfect? No. But if you compare what has happened since 2015 in that zone in particular versus what happened in the previous 20 years, nobody can have a serious conversation about that.
All right then, Mr. Ngilale, let's talk about the new tariff regime that's been announced yesterday by different stakeholders in the power sector. Talk to us about that, because a lot of people were worried as to why the tariff increase. Kindly explain to us about the service-based electricity tariff.
Thank you very much. So this is a very critical issue for this administration. So in the past, what we've had is a situation where anytime government wants to raise tariff, right, it has always done it in a blanket fashion, which means that regardless of how much power you consume, you are affected by the tariff. Whether you have a meter, whether you don't have a meter, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, everybody will be affected by tariff increase. That is how it has always been done. So what Mr. President did now is he said, look, yes, there are issues with, profit shortfalls by distribution companies to be able to reinvest in the infrastructure, and we do need a tariff that reflects the global reality, right? But what he said is that we also need service that reflects the global reality. So he has said that for the first time, instead of having what we used to call cost-reflective tariff, which is a blanket increase on everybody to bear, he now said we're only going to do service-based tariff, which means that in very specific terms, any Nigerian who is not receiving 12 hours of light in a day will not see a kobo of increase in their tariff. Any Nigerian who is receiving more than 12 hours of power in a day will see an increase in their tariff based on the service that is being delivered to them. Now, that's on one side of it. So what you have right now in the country is essentially a situation where we have about 5 to 6 million people who do not have meters, who need meters. We've metered about half of the electricity, the on-grid electricity consuming population, about half. Half are unmetered. 5 to 6 million is the gap. So what we have done is CBN has $200 million that they are using to do a bulk procurement of between 5 and 6 million meters to address the shortfall in meters in one swoop, in one move. We're going to address all of the meters within the next 12 months across this country. Now, that's on one end. On the other end, the president also approved the waiver of import duties on all meters. So anybody who wants to, separate from what CBN is doing, anybody like distribution companies or anybody else who wants to get involved in the metering business, who wants to import meters or import parts of meters to do assembly in Nigeria, they're able to import over the next 12 months without any import duties to try and encourage the bridging of the gap in metering in the country. Because once people are metered, Nigerians are not worried, they're not bothered by having to pay a little bit more in tariff if they are receiving the power. So if a Nigerian is receiving more than 12 hours of light and he's metered, he knows that he's only paying for what he's consuming. He's not going to have any problem paying your tariff. The problem is that what he or she does not want, what our people do not want, is a situation where you're telling them, you're sending them a bill at the end of the month for electricity they do not enjoy. You cannot be doing that. So what this tariff does is it says that if you instead of estimated billing, our tariff is going to be tied to the service rendered to our people. Then the last point I want to make very quickly is that you may ask, in the next 12 months before the tariffs come into the country, right, those who are not metered, what will happen to them? How will they be, those who are not enjoying 12 hours light, who are still paying the existing tariff without any increase, and they don't have a meter, what happens to them? So what the president has also done is he has also said, anybody in this tariff order, this service-based tariff, he said any Nigerian who does not have a meter, we are going to put a cap on the bill that they are allowed to be charged by distribution companies. Before, what you had was distribution companies could charge any Nigerian without a meter anything they like. That's the estimated bill. They will just give you a bill and tell you to pay, and if you don't pay, they will disconnect you. So what the president now said is that what we're going to do is that in every area of this country, you have a few people, at least a few people who have meters, right? So what he said is that those who have meters in any given area will be the benchmark against which those who do not have meters in that area will be charged. So for example, if I am living in Nsuka, a part of Nsuka with another person, and I don't have a meter, but my neighbor has a meter, then the average of those who have meters in Nsuka will be charged, that will be the benchmark. Whatever they are consuming and what they are paying will be the benchmark for those who do not have meters in Nsuka, so that they are paying close to what those other people are paying. That is what we call capped regulation. We are capping the estimated billing to stop the abuses in the system across the country. That is what the president has done for the people of this country through this tariff order.
Now, I have to thank you so much, Mr. Ajuri Ngelale, the Senior Special Assistant to President Muhammadu Buhari on Public Affairs. Thank you for your consistent efforts to inform the people on some of these issues. Thank you for your time.
Well, God bless you, and God bless the people of Enugu and the Southeast at large. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we will continue the discussion now with Ichuguma Iframokenwa, who is here in the studio. I'm sure you listen to Ajuri Ngelale carefully, and we'd like you to respond to some of the things he said concerning one, the airport and the road. So we'll start with the airport, please.
Okay, on the part of the airport, I would first commend the current administration. Initially, when the airport closure was announced, it was met with some level of uncertainties and shocks and speculations. Some persons wondered whether it was actually meant for the Southeast. But from all he said, where he rolled out the three major key interventions to support that, the president, it's not just interested in improving the airport infrastructure, but also in advancing two other strategic infrastructure that will help to support the commerce in the Southeast. And that's aside from the airport. He made reference to the Benue Nasarawa bridge, you understand, that links up for those of them going to Makodi for their businesses. And then he also cited the instance of Second Niger Bridge. And very interesting also to note that, like some of these key infrastructures are actually coming in full glare in this current administration. And I think on one count we ought to celebrate that we now have like a greater platform for negotiation, for relevant leaders to sit down and say, okay, since we have an administration that it's looking also as the Southeast, as a region out of the 6th region, how can we also like have more, fair sharing within the Nigerian space? And by that, what I mean is first ensuring that the administration, number one, doesn't see it as a gift like it's been touted sometimes in the state of power, that it's more or less like a gift. I mean, Southeast is a part of Nigeria, but why it seems as if to say like this is legendary, there has been that long negligence, you understand? And if the Saudis will be remembered in such great measures, perhaps the expectation was not with this administration, but to the surprise of everyone, we've seen like the rollout, and it's quite impressive. And I do also want to believe that terminal building is also very important. And citing also like the new wave of intervention, that apart from like reconstructing what is in existence, such as the runway, which also was further expanded by 3 kilometers. One of the things also that is quite impressive to note is in the aspect of the cargo terminal, you understand, and of course anything that means well for commerce for the Southeast, especially considering the potentials of the Southeast, is commendable.
All right, let's talk about the roads. He mentioned about the roads, but people around here seem to be worried about the speed. It's the argument isn't about whether people are excited about the repairs, but they are worried about the speed of the repairs.
So one of the things that addresses issues of worries is having like set out timelines, you understand, definite, and then government is also consistent. You know that when the airport was first shut down last year, you understand, and about 3 months after we had an announcement that perhaps the reopening of the airport was somewhat indefinite. There was that panic. People needed to know, and then when the pressures came on the FG, we had that perhaps before the Christmas the airport will be reopened, and then a new date, which also like the government had to explain that due to the COVID-19, you understand, which is understandable. A later date was set, and I must also commend this administration for keeping to that date, though like some aspects of the airport were yet to be completed, but I believe things are on top gear. And given the commitment to deliver the runway with the expansion and also like bringing it up to standard, it's quite commendable. And the very fact also like I love the question you asked him about the concession of the airport, and the answer you also gave, that looking at the fact that currently we have 5 international airports in the FCT, in Lagos, in Kano, and in Port Harcourt, that Enugu is not maybe set aside alone. It's not exclusive to Enugu, it's a principle, and what the government is actually looking for is the experience and of course the capacity, so that we won't just like maybe go the way of federal agencies and platforms like the FAN. It's all about the competence, it's all about the business business, those that have got like the competence, those who are probably in the private sector who have got the competence to deliver the job, and with that, the profitability of our airport can be ensure them all.
All right, and this is Political Voices on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM. This morning we're taking a look at Enugu Airport and other related infrastructure in the southeast. We had an early conversation with Mr. Ajurin Galale, Senior Special Assistant to Mr. President on Public Affairs. And here in the studio with us is Chukuma Iframokenwa, Executive Director, Lead Network. And you can talk to us via the social media platforms. We are live on 3 platforms. On YouTube, it's Dream TV Enugu. Remember to subscribe to this channel and turn on notification. Of course, you can watch us live on Facebook, 925 Dream FM, or on Twitter at Dream 925 FM, or you can call 0811 2925 925 or 0902 0020 925. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Alex, good morning.
Good morning to you, madam.
To our guests in the house.
You're welcome.
My name is Odaze. I'm reaching you from Ila, Delta State, this beautiful morning. I was so happy about the special assistant to Mr. President that spoke to us this morning. Sometimes what we lack most in this country is information dissemination from the federal government down to state level. Most times they rather talk down on us. They don't tell us what they're doing. Like they have explained about the airport facility. And a layman that doesn't know that an airport needs cargo and all that would not have ever thought of what he was talking about. The wrong way here is the most important aspect of flight. And he talks about it. Most of us did not know that. Like we believe it's a big, where you have this big impressive building and all that. That's like when you have an airport. And the road, I'm very happy the way he addressed it. Tell you what, sometimes we should be able to take responsibility for what happens to us in this part of the country. We are not proactive at all. Rather, we are reactionary. Now, look at the airport issue. We should be very happy with the government of the day, because that airport has been there for over the years, and we had our own people manning Ministry of Aviation. They didn't do anything. They got somebody from elsewhere coming to manage. Despite our bias, the president then brought the money. We should at least say, thank you, but come back and do the remaining. Thank you first, come back, do the remaining. The roads do the same thing. The same thing, roads are bad all over the country, yeah? If you keep talking about it, talk, ask. We have people in the legislature. What are they doing? The other day I saw them on TV where they took to that Enugu airport. If they were too glad like that, wouldn't we have had that airport done a long time ago? When it's something, thank you very much, Alex, for bringing that talk to us, that gentleman, and I thank you for our analysts in the house.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and you too, madam. And of course, you can call us on 0902002095 or 08112925 Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's the name and location?
Yeah, Frank is calling from Nigeria.
You're welcome.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead and make your contribution.
Yeah, I just want to commend you on communicating someone from the office of Mr. President in Abuja. I just want to talk about the electric issue, how he addressed the issue about the distribution company and all those.
All right, then. We lost him. You can call us back 0811-292-5925. Hello, good morning. Okay, then we have there's a message on WhatsApp here. It says the airport concessioning is a global demand to lessen the burden on government, bring in professionals and expertise, but to commission an uncompleted project is real weird and off the post. Alex, over 64 billion was allotted for the fencing of University of Maiduguri. All right, and This is from Mike Abu from UNN. Hello, good morning. Okay, then, take another call. Hello, good morning. Okay. Okay, the call is not coming through. We'll take another one. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's the name and location?
My name is Kelvin. I'm calling from Anambra State.
You're welcome.
My submission to what the person said is that whatever is happening, whatever going on to the southeast is worth doing, because the southeast they have been marginalizing, But thank God that they've remembered us, irrespective of any situation or any project going on. It's worth doing. Thank God that they're working on it. But in the side of the electricity he talked about, the EDC, that so many people in the rural area doesn't know about it. So it's something that they will bring to table that and they will make it possible for the people living in the villages to know about, because once the EDC officials goes, they stop money from people in the village illegally. So thank you so much for what your people are doing. I greet everybody in the studio working assiduously to see that the country is moving on.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much for reaching us now. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. What's the name of location? I can hear myself in your house, and which is not so good. Let's check the posts from our Facebook live stream right away and find out what's going on there. We have this from there. Let's find out exactly. There are contributions there, and we'll look at that in a jiffy. But just before we get to that, let's take this call. Hello. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
What's your name and location?
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. What's your name and location? Your name is? Alright then. Okay, so call us on 0811-2925-925 or 0902-0020-925. Those are the numbers you can call to be part of the program. This morning, we are talking about the Enugu airport and other related infrastructure in the southeast. Look at the issues here. And Ovuna Dickland on our Facebook live stream says that reopening of Enugu airport is a welcome development to the Igbos and Nigeria at large. Meanwhile, I will seize this opportunity to commend President Muhammadu Buhari for his efforts in reconstructing the airport and also giving kudos to the governor of Enugu State for his support to ensure that all went well during the reconstruction period. In conclusion, we need more just like Oliver Twist, because all the roads in the southeast are still dilapidated, and think that Mr. President should work with the southeast state governors to fix the roads. Ifechukwu Ochendo says, I commend the FG for the rehabilitation of the airport. It is sad that the elite are only interested in what concerns them because they use the airports and not the poor masses. The same attention paid to Akanu Ibiam Airport should be paid to all the federal roads in the southeast, which are greatly deteriorating. This is texting us from Ufuma. Onyebuchi Brandon says, please ask the Special Assistant to the President why Minister of Works is totally neglecting the southeast region in terms of roads. All these roads listed today that he claims to have been awarded to different contractors in the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, who are aware of this? Have they started doing the work presently? And one for God's time, Junior Knowledge G says, it's true that federal government has a little bit step up his changing plan development to the southeast, but more is still needed. Take a look at the major federal roads. They are in a terrible and horrible situation. Adoni Kechidora Kingsley says, you see, the lockdown of key infrastructure in the southeast region and nation in general have outlived their relevance. The world is now managing COVID-19, not hiding from it. Okay. And lots of messages coming up, but I think hello? Good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. I can hear you. What's the name and location? You're welcome.
Hello?
Go ahead and make your contribution. All right. I think we'll take a Hello, go ahead and make your contribution.
Hello.
All right. Chuguma from Okawa. Well, let's talk more, because a lot of people have different things to say, especially about the reopening of the airport. A lot of issues came out, and pictures of the building still with a lot of scaffolding. I mean, no matter where you try to sell it, do you think that it can sell?
I think if you want to sell the whole package, then we should also consider the fact that some part of that airport has been completed. And what that means is that with the runoff, or with the runway, flights can take off and also land in Enugu.
But have flights started?
Of course, 5th September was slated for that, you understand? So we're expecting that in 3 days' time, things will be in full glare. So why waiting for the other full completion? Nothing stop opening or reopening of commerce fully again, and businesses and people's ability to connect. And then I also want to share the same thoughts with one of the contributors on Facebook, when he asserted that why are the rich only interested in what benefits them, because there is that perception, even though to fly, you don't necessarily need to be a rich man, you understand, but there is that assertion. I also think that the same attention and more need to be given to the airport, because there was a time, when I think the nation, we had one particular flight accident, and over 153 lives, you understand, were lost. Person just says only a little out of the numerous lives that are lost on our roads, you understand, daily. So I think also the government need to do something like swap into quick action to see that it's addressed. And then I think in the aspect of the electricity and the increase in the tariff, I only want to differ on one count. On one count, I would like to say the idea of trying to charge unmetered Nigerians, using the benchmark of people in the area that have meter. It's a nice idea on one count. Why is it a nice idea? Over the time, those estimated bills, in most cases, is even higher than maybe what anybody can use. But then I also think that why the idea of metering Nigerians should be pursued with urgency is simply because you can't tell me for the fact that I stay in the same area with someone means we have the same maybe air condition, you understand what I'm saying? So somebody can actually have the potential in same area of consuming up to 10,000 naira monthly, while another person living in that same area is only spending only 1,000. So I believe that idea of by opening it up for prospective investors, and then also making it tariff free for people that want to import parts to assemble the meters in Nigeria, should be one that government need to pursue more with urgency, rather than that fallacy of generalization.
All right then. Thank you so much. And we are joined on Political Voices by Dr. Chimakuba, the Chairman Board of Trustees, Amaka Chimakuba Foundation. He is also an economist, and he always has strong opinions about some of these, especially the things around infrastructure and the economy. Talk to us about your thoughts about the reopening of the airport and how you think it can impact the economy for Enugu State in the light of the concession as mentioned.
I would say I'm happy that the airport finally has been reopened, irrespective of the delay and the news we are hearing of that it has not been completed. Part of the worrisome thing also I had, I've not proven until I get to the point, is that when they started this, they said that the runway will be extended and expanded. But the information at my distributor says that none of that happened. It wasn't extended, it wasn't expanded, but it was reworked. So that caused for some worry for me. But in terms of the impact, it can be rated. It will boost the economy of Enugu State. It's an international airport, it's not just a domestic airport. So it's like a gateway between the state. South is not just Enugu and the international community. When the airport closed, a lot of events that would have been held in Enugu were suspended. Businesses at the airport closed, and this has a ripple effect and all that. So as the airport has been opened, we'll get more people to coming into Enugu. We have more businesses that will thrive, more conferences will come, hotels will have more people. Those also who are directly involved in air travels and all that will have their businesses reopened and all that. So it's a good thing. And in terms of tourism also, even though the Enugu state has not really done so much on its tourism potential, that has not been leveraged. But in terms of tourism also, it opens the door for the state, you know, to enjoy and to have more people to visit Enugu for tourism. And you know, the implication is that in addition to having direct benefits in terms of money, the fiscal, it also opens up Enugu state to the international community about the investment opportunities that are therein. So it depends on now how we leverage the opportunities that are being presented by the airports that we have here now. But in terms of concessioning, that's what is happening almost everywhere. In fact, the truth remains that government doesn't know how to manage businesses. The business of government is to provide the enabling environment and all that. When you have the airport, let me give you a quick example. Look at MMA2 and the main airport. Check the two of them. The private individuals, if there's a good regulation and monitoring, will bring in a better expertise. They will do things at a reduced cost, and they will also make their profits and also give customers quality service delivery. So I'm in for that now that we're even growing every day. Let's deploy the funds that we have into other productive sectors. And I don't know if I get in that. So that's just my take.
Very quickly, before you swallow spit, I would like you to also respond on the issue of the service-based tariff of the power sector. You saw it coming. Yeah. You are the man who saw tomorrow, because you said it, I think it was maybe 2.5 months ago or 3 months ago on this program. You said that they will increase the tariff, and they have indeed increased the tariff. So what's the implication of that increment?
Anyway, this is the first phase of increment. The next phase will come by 2021 January. It will go up higher. No, but for me, it's a two-pronged issues. It has negative implications and positive implications on the economy and the citizens. For the economy, if you take the last inflation rate that's jumped up, part of the components that gave rise to that is also electricity component. So what it will do is that it will induce a cost push inflation. Because as the tariff is increased, a lot of prices of goods and services will increase, and that has its own implications. Do not forget that most Nigerians are already impoverished. They don't have the resources to do this thing. But the good thing is also for any businessman, you're in business to make profit. And part of the problem that the discourse, in fact the entire value chain of electricity has been complaining, is that the tariff is not cost reflective, and that is why the government has been subsidizing. They say they've been subsidizing, and that is the truth. So what it will happen now is that the government can save the money they say they've been putting into electricity to subsidize electricity and deploy it into other projects. And we can now ask questions when we see that they say they spend so much on it. We say, for what? If we are paying for it, why are you still spending? And it's important also that we ask the right questions, asking them, where are they deploying the savings from the subsidy to? Because it's not enough to say you are removing subsidy and we are still where we are. So those questions need to be asked. Thirdly also is that it will be for the corporations, what I think will happen, but it all depends on the regulatory framework and oversight, is that since they are not getting service reflective tariff, we expect them to improve the electricity infrastructure. We expect that the value chain losses arising from generation to transmission to distribution will be reduced, such that we'll have more regular and full supply, which also has its implications on private business and all that. Artisans and all that will have enough light to run their business. Even factories will have enough light to power their big generator. So that's why I say it has both positive and negative. To some, it will have a negative implication, if not on the economy. But on the long run, when things stabilize, what it will do is that it will help to jumpstart and boost the Nigerian economy. If we have enough electricity, yes, a lot of people may not be able to pay it. So that is why they need to go back to the table to rework it. You know, as I entered, I had Ephraim speaking on that thing. The issue is that we always have a policy inconsistencies each time. The last time the NRC came out with a policy that says that if you are a metered customer, that there is a maximum rate you can pay for electricity. Unfortunately, the same NRC didn't enforce that, because I observed also that the discos were still billing the way they wanted. Now that you have brought that as there's having reflective tariff that now made it MD